In 2009, you starred in your first film. It was Framework, written and directed by Joseph Campanella. Being your first experience, and I'm assuming your first experience on a production, what was your biggest lesson learned there?
Man, everything. I think I was in college and we were trying to figure out how to shoot that with I think the biggest things I learned were that things that you look at in a movie that look like they take 2 seconds take like 3 days every time. Like I didn't realize how long everything takes. And we kept shooting that on like any day all of us would have off over like, I feel like a year or a year and a half. It was a long time, but yeah, I think the amount of time that it took and everyone's obsession with, I didn't study film as much at that time. So I didn't know, like he kept being like, oh, we got to have a shot of like an insert shot of you setting the glass down and breaking the ice. And like, you know how there are all these directors that everyone's trying to emulate. And I was just like, why? Let's just have the drink and move on. Like,
Yeah.
We were just talking about that yesterday because
We shot a music video yesterday, and there was a whole bunch of people involved in the production that had never been in front of a camera before. And we were talking about how funny it is. That's one of our favorite things, is to see that moment of realization on a newbie's face when they, after take one, they think, okay, we're done. Like, no, a 3-minute video takes longer than 3 minutes to shoot. And when you see that come upon them, they're like, oh shit, so we're going to be here all day.
It's funny you say that, because we did have that conversation, and you're correct. That's the difference between someone saying, I want to be an actor and I'm going to be an actor. And speaking of that, I want to talk about the difference between an independent production and actually being on a big movie set, because in 2012, the pilot episode of Chicago Fire, you are in that. So what is it like to go from, okay, now I'm just doing this, hey, this, that, and the other. Now there's cameras everywhere, there's expectations, there's call times. What is the experience like? Talk to that young lady that's an actress that has no idea. Tell her what it's like.
I feel like this one was the first in many, many not great experience. Well, like I was cut out of that part. And I remember like I auditioned and I felt like it went well, but it wasn't really clear. I think they were kind of scrambling because it was a pilot reshoot and it was a small part. And my scene was with Taylor Kinney and we had to make out. It was my first on-screen kiss. And I had to wear, I wasn't aware of any of this till I got to set. They're like, cool, this is your nudity contract clause thing. Like, I was just like, what? And I had to wear just pasties and nude underwear. So this is my first experience in TV, like a big production TV job. And we're in this apartment in Chicago and there was no AC. And so I had to go up and down the stairs for like every entrance of the scene. And then like, he picks me up, he spins me around, he throws me on the couch. It's like this whole choreographed thing. And I was like sweating my pasties off again and again. I was like dripping sweat all over him. Like it was just miserable. I was so uncomfortable. And then they cut it out. So it was kind of like, cool, awesome. Thanks for that. But yeah, I guess that would be my biggest like bit of advice for an actor entering in that is just like, know if you're a co-star, you're probably going to get cut out. Find out what's going on beforehand in terms of nudity. Like if nobody tells you, because that's really stressful on the day.
We talked to Lisa Gorlitsky, and she was
187 and Lean on Me.
No, you're talking about Karina Ariabe.
Oh, that's a different story.
Yeah. Lisa Gorlitsky was talking about she played in Silk Stockings, in an episode of Silk Stockings, and she had this great story about being like your own advocate on set and how it's so hard to do that when you're first getting started, because you're like, you don't want to step on any toes, or you don't want to be the person that's like gains reputation of having a problem with something or saying no. She said once, but you have to. Correct. And then and sometimes it takes a little while to understand that you're not going to like get shunned because you speak up for yourself. Now, did you have that, like, was there any like reservations when you get this nudity clause and you're seeing what exactly this is going to entail? And do you have like an internal thing going on at all where?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said just could not resonate with me more deeply. I don't know who that person is, but yeah, fully same page. And she probably learned how to advocate for herself before me. I feel like it has taken me almost dying twice making my own films. Like, I feel like just in the last couple of years, I'm like, okay, if I say something, I'm not going to get like shunned from society. Like, I'm very much a people pleaser, and I worry about, being liked and all that stuff. And I'm finally getting over it. It's just taken a very long time.
Yeah, it's one of the most liberating feelings.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and with respect to the nudity thing, like, I remember I was worried, but then I was like, oh, this is network television. Like, they can't actually show anything. So
Correct.
It's probably fine.
There would have been the thought in the back of my head, like, so is this just for the director?
Right. At a certain point, yeah.
It's not. It can't go on television. So who's?
I'll say this really quickly, and I have a daughter. She's an actress, and my thing is this: I've always taught her just to be the best actress she can be, the best artist she can be, and I feel exactly where you're coming from. You didn't sign up for that. Like you say, you did all of that, and it's on the cutting room floor, but it's still in somebody's SD card. Somebody's like, wait a minute, no, if we're not actually going to do it, let's not do it. But I feel where you're coming from. You have to stand your ground. And
also, like, the whole concept of a closed set where they'll be like, oh, don't worry, it's a closed set. It's just going to be like essential people. And then it's like 75 dudes. And you're like,
craft services. Everybody's on craft services that day. Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Hopefully that's a little bit different now with the pandemic situation. A closed set might actually be closed.